What then is the biblical earth? Certainly it cannot be the earth of science. Waldemar Jansen sums it up thus in pages 242 to 248 of the 1992 Anchor Bible Dictionary. He writes, "Earth is the habitation of human beings, viewed physically as land, soil, or ground, viewed geographically as a region, viewed politically as a state, territory, or country, viewed cosmically as the opposite of heaven, and viewed symbolically as the entirety of material existence." Jansen's description requires some refinement. States and countries did not exist in antiquity. And earth is properly the opposite of sky vault, rather than our 2,000-year theologically developed concept of heaven. That's very important. Earth is not the opposite of heaven. Earth in the Bible is the opposite of sky vault or sky vaults. But his claim that the earth symbolically represents the entirety of material existence is correct. Anthropologists call this consensual reality. This is the world in which human beings live and which they agree is real. Their cultural consensus reality. Alternate reality is parallel to consensual reality. Alternate reality. This is what the trunk of the tree of life designed by holy men and women represents. One clue to the real world behind the visible world, or consensus reality, is the concept that there is a navel of the earth, or a center of the earth. In Hebrew, nabur, the highest part, or center. This concept, so common in the ancient world, is mentioned only one time in the Bible. In the Gog and Magog oracles, the prophet Ezekiel announces that the enemy from the north, Ezekiel 38:15, will attack those, quote, who dwell at the navel or belly button of the earth, end quote. Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 12. Question: who are those who dwell at the navel of the earth? These are God's people in Jerusalem. For earlier God announced, Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 5, "This is Jerusalem. I have set her in the center of the nations, with countries round about her." So try to grasp this. In antiquity, each culture built the earthly residence or temple of its deity directly under the deity's residence in the sky vault, which is alternate reality. So, the temple of every people was their culture's consensual reality version or model of alternate reality. Does that make sense? Well, if that's true, what should you and I do if we were a member of this particular people and we go on a pilgrimage to temple? What should we be falling into as we go to temple?
Into alternate reality.
Into alternate states of consciousness, into trance. We should be entering alternate reality via the consensual doorway, which is directly under, in the navel of the earth, directly under the hole in the sky vault. So the idea was, in the consensus reality of Israel, a hole in the sky over this place on earth through which people could have access to the divine realm, the branches of the tree of life. Look at this icon. Jesus ascended to the Father from the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem after his resurrection. Why did he do it there? Why couldn't he ascend from Galilee? It is because the hole in the sky vault was imagined to be in the environs of Jerusalem, over the temple, and not in Galilee. How fascinating. Earlier in the Israelite tradition, it seems that Bethel had been considered the navel of the earth. That was where Jacob saw angels of God ascending and descending on a ladder or ziggurat that reached to the sky vault. Genesis 28:17. This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of sky vault, the hole in the sky vault. Bethel, the house of the highest. Interesting. Israel, as it moved around at different times, saw the cosmic axis point to alternate reality at different places geographically. Look at this. Jacob exclaims this at the end of his sleep, which is an alternate state of consciousness experience. Presumably, God could visit the earth through the same hole in the sky vault anytime he wants. In another early Israelite tradition, the navel of the earth was Babylon, about 50 miles south of Baghdad, the center of Hammurabi's empire. Genesis 11, verse 5. Yahweh came down to see the city of Babylon, and the tower that the people had built. Those who built a tower to the solid metal sky vault here knew where the hole was because God came to visit Babylon, descending through that hole in the sky. Earlier in Babylonian tradition, Nippur, about 100 miles south of Baghdad, was the navel of the earth. It was in this vicinity that Ezekiel the prophet experienced God in alternate states of consciousness and communicated God's will as he learned it in visions to fellow exiles. See, this is God's sky servants other than human persons. Thus, holy men and women like the patriarch Jacob and the prophet Ezekiel can find the tree of life and gain insight from the middle world on that tree, the real world, alternate reality, to apply to life on earth where human beings live. Hey, thanks for watching. Just continue the playlist for the next part of the study. If you have further questions, this is good. They will get addressed, so keep watching. If you found value, please subscribe, like, and share. As always, questions, comments, and criticisms are most welcome. God bless you.